Welcome back to R&R Lifestyle.
Today's a really exciting day here at our little One Hive apiary. We're going to introduce the honey super today to our bees.
In just 6 weeks, we've taken 3 frames to almost a full 16 frames. We're going to open up the top and see what it looks like real quick. We're not going to spend a lot of time inspecting it, but we do feel like it is time. We're getting ready to have a big honey flow after a huge rain for about 2 weeks of rain. So we should have a huge nectar flow, and that'll allow the bees to make quite a bit of honey in that. They've got plenty in the frames that we already have in there, so we're just hoping that they can fill up and we can actually have a harvest our first year. We'll see how it goes.
Also, we've got another hive getting started in the next week or two, so watch for that, another colony to join this one.
Yep, we're waiting for the nuke. They're going to put it together in next week or so, and then we'll get ready from there. It's a hot day today. It's been about 88 degrees today. The temperature is starting to drop, but as you can see, the sun on my face, it's still up in the air. I'm hoping for some of these clouds to go in front of the sun and cool us off a little bit. Even though these suits are supposed to be cooler to wear, it's still pretty warm in these, especially down here in South Georgia. So right over here, you can see there are our Flow Hive frames right there, and we've got our gloves on top of it right now, my gloves, but these are the Flow Hive frames right here. This would be the back side of the frame right there. Down, they're upside down right now, so they would actually be inverted the other way around. But I don't know if you can get a good idea of these frames right here. Right now they're closed, and the bees will build out the wax on these.
We'll put some still shots on.
Yeah, we will put some still shots on so you can see it. We're going to go ahead and start opening up this hive here, and we'll get ready and go from there.
All right, so we're going to take off the syrup that we made just the other day. It's still really heavy, but
Gotta hold the handle.
Yeah, I'm hoping that maybe we can salvage it for the next batch of bees that we're getting. I'm not sure. All right, this is my first time doing this, so bear with me. My nerves are a little jangly.
No.
Ooh, it's really solid. You just feel free to smoke those bees anytime they look testy. I told you I'd get brave.
Set that down by the front.
Yep. Ooh. I gotta tell you folks, that buzz makes me nervous. Now we have ordered a frame stand. We've seen it in several other people's videos to put these frames on and rest them as you're doing the inspection. So that will be coming, but until then we're just going to put it right down here by the side. Now I might need a little instruction. How do you lift this exactly?
Okay, what you do is you use that little hook. It's on the other side there.
Okay.
And just hook it underneath the frame.
I see.
And then that'll get you enough room to get your hand on there.
One side or?
One side, yeah. And then grab the other side.
Okay.
And I can see and be careful, lift it straight up, don't drag it.
Okay.
Okay, so they're drawing out the comb here. They've already got capped honey up on top here. This is the last frame on the, watch where you're putting your fingers, on the last frame on the back side of the house side of the hive. So they've already got the comb. You can see it's pretty drawn out here.
On this side.
And then I'm looking on this side, and they're just starting to do the comb right here. So they're starting to do that one too.
All right, so we think this is the one we're going to pull out and just lay down?
I'm just going to stand it up right here.
Okay.
Very softly.
You're going to, yeah, you got it? Careful, there are so many on the bottom.
Okay, here, you take the camera.
All right, I feel way more comfortable back here.
Okay, we're gonna switch positions here real quick. I'm gonna take this frame right here and set it. Well, I'm looking here real quick, and I'm gonna just give you a real quick see of what we're seeing inside this hive right now. I'm gonna just kill the bee. that's smashed. All right, real quick look. We're not going to spend a lot of time in here, but I want you to see how good this queen is that we have. We've named her Queen Mary, Queen of Scots. And boy, they're using propolis like crazy in here. But I just want you to see this brood pattern. This is in the upper box right here. I want you to see how good she's laying. Okay, I see honey dripping all down into there right now. Oh, this is a heavy frame. Very heavy frame.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Look at that brood pattern. And then if you want to see this side over here,
gorgeous.
Just loaded, loaded, loaded. And I'm seeing the thing on the next frame over. They've got all kinds of brood loaded in there already also. So we're going to set this down very gently here.
I don't think she could do a better job if she tried.
Okay, we're going to smoke these babies down right here so I can push these back together. I need it really in here.
Okay. Now we learned that the smoke has two different effects. One, it kind of neutralizes the sensors that send off their alarm and their need to sting you. So that makes me happy. And the other thing it does is make them want to go for honey. So if they're busy eating, they're also not stinging. So far, 6 weeks in, we haven't been stung yet, so fingers are crossed.
More smoke here. Pushing these back together. Like I said, we're not going to do an inspection today. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to throw this Queen Excluder on top here real quick.
Now the Queen Excluder is added so that the workers can come up and place honey in those honey supers, but the queen can't get up there to lay eggs, and you don't have larvae and brood up in the honey that you'll be getting.
Wipe that off on the bottom.
Wipe it?
Of the frame.
Okay.
It's just mulch. Okay. We got all kinds of bees in there, so we're going to smoke them off of here.
I thought he wanted me to wipe the bees. Now I think the most exciting part for me with this addition, more so even than harvesting honey, oh look.
He's trying to get a dead bee out. He's trying to get a dead bee out.
I don't think that bee is dead.
Okay.
They're just being buddies. I think the most exciting part for me is the window, that now we'll be able to open the window on the side of the upper honey super in the flow frame and actually watch our bees working on the inside. All right, you ready for me to start handing?
Yep. Let's start handing in supers here.
All right.
Okay, these
Last
are the
look
honey
inside.
Supers. So the back here where the tube hole is and the tool hole is goes to the back here. So start setting these down in here. And we'll start over on that side. And then we'll do the same thing here. The same thing here. The same thing up here. Now they will fill this up from the middle outwards. That's how they'll go ahead and fill up this with honey. And we got room for one more. And there we go. And that is our honey super. So these bees are no longer going to get syrup. So we are no longer feeding these bees any longer. We've put the honey super on top, so now they've got to go out and forage and find their own nectar and pollen. So they're on their own for right now. If we see that they're not really filling this up, then that means the nectar flow isn't really happening right now. And we can always pull these back out and go ahead and stick the feeder back in. But we think this hive is strong enough. Both boxes are almost completely full, and this will maybe keep them from swarming also. So we also have our top board. Where did we put that?
Right over here.
Okay, so we've got this top board right here. We're going to take this. I'm going to set this.
Watch the bees.
I see them. We're going to set this just like this. Okay. That's going to go on top just like that. And then Rhonda made this little contraption right here.
I'm so creative.
Look at this. It's just a nice little box, and I poked some holes in it to try and let some of the heat out. And then we'll set that over that hole right there. And then we put a little Coastal Kitchen, which is a local restaurant. We put that right on top there. And that'll help hold that down so the bees can't push up through there. We're going to go ahead and throw the roof back on. Hopefully it'll fit with this cup in here.
Careful.
And it will not. The cup is too tall. So what we'll do for now,
just put some rocks.
Just put some rocks up on top of there for
to weight it down.
Just to weight it down a little bit. There we go. And then we'll put the roof back on. Yep. Okay. I'll go like that. And there we go. Our honey super is now on there. And I hope that's sitting down there all the way. Feels pretty loose, but let's see. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put the strap back up on here.
All right, before you do that, I want to show everybody the back window, what it looks like now with the frames inside. There you go. So as we see those chambers actually fill with our liquid gold, that's when we'll be able to determine that they're able to harvest.
See, the bees are already going up in here and they're checking it out.
They're investigating.
This is a dead bee right here that got caught in there. I'm gonna try.
Maybe a hive tool?
Yeah, try and get him out of there.
Look at that. That's just fascinating. They're already up exploring, getting ready to start working upstairs. These are the upstairs maids. All right, let's put this back on. And then take a quick peek through the side window, and then we'll call it a day. I can see me out here for the rest of the summer. Oh my goodness, look at that. So excited. All right,
They've
guys.
got all this whole upstairs now to expand into. They've never had that before. So now they have that. And they can, we've got the queen excluder mat right here. So they will not be, the queen will not be able to get up there and lay eggs. And because of that, they'll just put honey up here. Nectar, they'll put nectar, which they will turn into honey. So we'll put that cover back on there. And there is a little window right there. So we can come out here and watch anytime we want and see how they're doing. Like I said, they'll fill from the middle outwards. So we've got some guard bees coming at us right now. We got some bees down here by the little nectar that we've been feeding them, the sugar water mixture. And I apologize for some of the dead bees. I got a dead bee right there. It always breaks my heart when I kill a bee accidentally. I will say this. We were just told today that we were wondering why some of the bees were like coming into our faces while we were sitting out drinking our beers in the evenings. And a friend of mine who I met today, he said, well, they smell the fermentation in the beer, and they think that's why they're coming after you. So we might have to sit a little further away when we have our beers.
But it's awful toasty, so we may go have one now. Thanks again for joining us.
And we'll see you next time. We have all kinds of fun stuff to show. A new nuke coming, new hive getting set up on the other side of the yard, and we're planting all kinds of flowers. We're gonna take you on a little tour of our little flower garden that we're working on right now. We just picked up some African blue basil, which is supposed to be amazing for bees. It's one of their favorite plants, and we're gonna propagate that all over this hill that these bees are by. So we'll see you soon.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.